All right, we're on. So welcome to the Safe Wheel live stream where I share my real P&L on 3 accounts and teach my proprietary Safe Wheel options trade system for free. And the system is currently up about 22% year to date. Please type in the chat if that you can hear me okay. I'm going to assume that you can hear me. Also, post any questions that you might have. Sounds good, thanks. SQC63 rebuilds. Um, Post any questions you might have about the system. Thanks, Charles. And that way I can get to them. I can answer your questions, and I don't end the broadcast before I can answer any questions that you might have. All right, let's get into things. So I have, again, the 3 accounts. Let's get into the earnings edge alerts. That's system number 1, and that is this particular account. And right here, you can see that my account balance is $4,607. Started with $5,000, so obviously not up for the year. Now on this, what my goal is to win 3 out of every 4 trades and make about 6% on my wins and lose about 6% of my losses. Some of my losses have been a little heavier, and I think that's the reason that we're down now. So because the record is 21 wins, 7 losses, and 3 ties. So that actually is right in line with my back test. Now, I did get strict with the filters about 10 weeks ago, maybe 11 weeks ago. And ever since I started using the 8 filters, my record is 6-2. And I'm down about 7.8% year to date. Now, what I usually go over right now is the stock that I used, that I traded last week, but there were no trades coming into earnings that met the 8 filters, so there was no trade last week, and that will happen, especially when there's not a lot of earnings action going on. Okay, so now next, let's get into the Premier level 5. This is the top thing that I recommend that everybody does. Of course, you want to have a little bit of capital to do this. What's really good about this system is it keeps the drawdowns at a minimum, and when you keep your drawdowns at a minimum, that is really the key. Now, when the market goes up, this system doesn't really outperform at that point. It kind of underperforms, but it outperforms in all the other markets. In the grind down, in a crash, in a sideways market, it outperforms, and therefore it outperforms overall, and it has lower drawdowns versus the S&P 500. That's my goal: outperform the S&P 500 and have lower drawdowns than the S&P 500 at the same time. So this particular account, I've put on 14 trades. I've got 8 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties. I currently have 2 open positions. And if you compare it to the S&P 500, the S&P 500 since April 8th of the inception of this account is down 19.5%, down around 20% was the lowest drawdown. Lowest drawdown with this system is around 4%, and it's currently up about 4.5%, maybe 5% now. So it's just vastly outperforming the S&P 500 this year. Sometimes on up years it might not outperform, but that's okay, because overall the system will outperform the S&P 500. Let's see, and let's get into the safe wheel. Make sure I get into the right account. No. Okay, the safe wheel. We have Uber. And you can see that I sold a put last week at the 2750 strike, and Uber's trading at around 2632, 2634. So I got a sign. So based on the wheel strategy, I will sell a covered call if I can get enough premium. and I also have my put hedge in there. So you can see that my put hedge and my position on Uber, they're moving together. So see, that's the goal, is to have a hedge that's really right, that's just covering you. It's not, if it, let's say that this was up 200 bucks and this is down, down 100. Well, that means I'd probably be overpaying for this hedge. Or if this hedge was, up 50 bucks and this is down 100, then I would be underpaying for the hedge. So I think I've got a pretty good equilibrium, or pretty good price for the hedge. All the back testing that I did and everything, it's dialed in pretty good. You can see that it's covering the position really well. Okay. On this particular, on the safe wheel, you can see that we're up about $1,330, approximately 22% year to date, which is really good considering the S&P is down, what, 25? So vastly outperforming the S&P 500. Plus the drawdowns, I think my largest peak to trough drawdown was maybe 5%. So doing quite well. One thing I want to say, I do have the safe wheel guidelines and flowchart available. And I also have something else, which is the 6 filters you use for choosing the right stock for the safe wheel. I do have those available at a price they're under $100 for both of them. I mean, that's pretty cheap to learn how to trade something that outperforms the S&P. So those are available, link in the description. I keep thinking I'm going to raise the price, but I haven't raised the price on those yet. Okay, so what do I do next here? Well, based on just the basic wheel strategy, I'm going to look to sell a call. And I don't want to sell something below the 2750 strike, because if I sold something below that, I could get called away and then take a loss on the 100 shares that I own. So let's take a look at Uber and the 2750. And I'm always talking about dealing in the nearest expiration, the one that expires, this particular one, on Friday, today being Monday. So I'm going to look at the calls in the 2750. And I can get over $28, $27. So I'm going to go ahead and sell this one. It'd be nicer, to get it, to sell the 28 or the 2850, but those just don't have enough premium. So I'm going to go ahead and sell this. Now, because I'm using an account between $5,000 and $10,000, I'm going to do one. That's how the system's sized. That's why I would recommend the guidelines, the flow chart and the guidelines, because it helps you with the sizing of the system. But also, you can just ask me any question right here and I'll tell you everything. So I'm going to try to get as much money as I can. Looks like the mid's 35. Maybe I'll go to 36. Okay. Okay, so now I've got my covered call position. Right? And let's see here. So I've got my 100 shares, and I sold a call against those 100 shares. So I'm selling premium right here that it'll fall in price much faster than the puts that I've bought, because these are 165 days, these are 4 days. These are going to expire much faster. There's a lot more theta in the near term, and that's the weighted Vega concept, is what's working with this system. Okay. So I got that set up. Let's see if there's any questions. All right. I think our position today is good as it can get. Yeah, it's good because we're able to collect more premium around our position, and our put hedge is solid. We're getting deeper and closer towards our put hedge, so it's giving us more and more protection. So it's working well. Raphael, do you adjust how many put hedges you will buy in a bull market? No, This system is totally non-directional, so it doesn't matter what type of market I'm in. I'm going to play by the exact rules that have been set out in the flowchart. Will, even though the earnings account is down, that is the service I am most interested in trying when I have the money. Yeah, I have an idea about the earnings edge, and that idea sounds like it could be something good, but I need to back test it because I might tweak it one more time. But we'll see how those back tests turn out. Okay, SQC 63, sell a put. Um, okay, I already sold a put last week to open up the position. And the reason why I did that was because if I get a sign, that means I'm getting closer and closer to my put hedge. That means my put hedge is getting stronger and stronger. But at this time, when I own 100 shares, I want to sell a call. That's the wheel strategy and the basic wheel strategy or traditional wheel strategy. John, thank you so much. You're welcome. Can't wait to get started once my account's funded. You're welcome, John. I look forward to it. Just show up on the live stream. I'll show you everything and answer any questions you have. Tim, I'm new today. Why did you determine to utilize Uber? Okay, so that comes back to the 6 filters I use for choosing the right stock, and I have a link in the description for that. Or you can go back through some of these videos. I don't remember which one when I went through that, choosing the right stock. If you go through all the videos, you'll find it, and it'll tell you in there without having to buy the. I think I got it there for $30 or something too. It'll show you the 6 filters that I use, or you can just go through all the videos and find the right one. He has a stock selection chart. Yeah. One of the things I do is I ask you guys. You can see one of the filters is to get a stock around $30. So I put a list together. This is done a couple months ago, so obviously the prices have changed. Of stocks around $30, and a lot of the people that watch the videos and stuff, they'll make suggestions, and then I can add them to the list. So you guys kind of help me build that list. Mahesh, what are your courses? Could you please introduce them again? So the first one is the Earnings Edge. That one has a lot, that one's quite risky, and that's when you're trying to turn a small account into a large account. And I typically trade that once a week. I have a stock that I trade going into earnings. I do options on the stock. I don't trade the stock. And that's number one. And then the second one is the Premier Level 5, and that's if you have over $30,000 or more, it gets a lot more conservative. And that's the way I trade my capital, more conservative. That's called the Premier Level 5. And then, of course, we have the Safe Wheel here that I give away for free. So those are the 3 trading systems. Raphael, on a bigger account, would you stick to one underlying stock? Absolutely. Oh, well, yes, but then sometimes when that cycle, I call it a cycle, is over, I might look for a new stock. So Uber, for example, if I were to take profits on Uber or take a loss on Uber, I would exit Uber altogether. At that point, I could go back to Uber or I could go back to another stock. So it's the cycles that we go through. Cycles typically last 1 week to, I think we're in Macy's for like 4 or 5, 6 months. But the cycle itself could last, 1 week, it could last a month or 2 months. And then once the cycle's over, you can either stay with that stock or go to a new one. So I did stay with Macy's. I think I got out of Macy's quite often, but I got right back into it, and that was a good stock. But what happened was Macy's got under $20, and I only like stocks between 20 and 40. And so I got moved on to another stock at that point. Kevin, good morning. question here. Saikong, what course do you recommend for us to learn before signing up the PL5 alerts? I recommend my Premier Level 5, or I'm sorry, I recommend my 5-step options trading success program. It's very similar to the PL5, but you don't need that much money, about 6 to 8,000. So it's more of a learning course. But when you trade that, it's 5-step. Just trade one tranche. Don't size up with it. Just learn. Use it to learn. But I do recommend you trade live when you learn, because if you're doing paper trading, um, it's just not the same. I never really used paper trading to learn because I just didn't pay attention. It just wasn't serious enough for me. Maybe other people can take it seriously. That wasn't for me. So I recommend the 5-step options trading success program. I lowered the price significantly on that, and that's for people to get ready for the PL5. SQC6, thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm the one who knocks. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you don't hit that notification bell, you might not be able to get access to the live stream. I always have people asking me for this video because they can't find it, and maybe it takes a day or two for it to upload sometimes. Uma, how you doing? Okay, I don't see any more questions. I'll give it a minute, or not, I'll give it a few seconds to see if we have any questions. All right, I'm gonna get ready to end this broadcast. Remember, if the P&L is not real, what else are they trying to conceal? See you guys in a week.